Hello everyone! This is a new launch day for the Nomad Cosmetics, which means we are going into Greece this time, the land of legends, the land of Odyssey and Greek gods, which are heavily inspiring this new launch and new palette, which is Greek Odyssey. Actually, I'm assuming because I cannot read Greek, but this is how the palette looks inside. We have 9 mattes and 9 shimmers, 3 of them are multi-chromes, and this is not the only item in this collection. We will also have a couple more products for the face that are joining the Nomad family. If you're interested what I can create with that, what we are going to do with that, my name is Vel. Big thanks to the brand for actually sending this to me in PR, and let's begin. So it is me again, and we are starting with our Odyssey, the Greek adventure, and the palette looks like this. Very pretty cover and nice looking in general. And here is the palette. Palette that we have is basically a 9 shades. You have an opportunity to get all matte, or you can have all shimmer. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes it's even okay to get all shimmer. You can just place one matte all over the lid and place the shimmer on top of that. That's going to be working just as fine. I bleached my eyebrows again because I feel like they are actually allowing a bit more space on the eyelid. When I'm looking straight, almost no eyelid is shown, and because of that I just wanted to kind of get them out of the way visually, and like they're still present, but now I'm just not paying attention to them as much. So I guess we can start slowly. I will apply the shade Ithaca, which is nicest mint I've seen so far. And I actually tried to think if this palette is very similar in shades to some others, and I was looking at blues that remind me about the train one, the Polar Express I think it's called, but actually they are very different in these terms. They only look from afar similar, but in fact they are completely different vibe, different tones in them, so you can not worry about that stuff. So Ithaca is going all over the lid. I'm just applying it with a fluffy brush because I need a surface. I don't need very much of a packing here. It's not really important at this time. Also, I'm using the MAC Multi Sculpt matte as my base today. I use the shade Brûlée. I actually bought a lot of them since last time we talked, so I got the more or less nude ones, the Brûlée, which I use usually as my base for the eyeshadow. Then I have Painterly, which is mostly my concealer. We have the shade Omega, which is also good for some days that I don't want makeup, also great for olive tones. Then I have the shade Buffed Up. This is a bit of a pinky tone. Sometimes I like something more pinky, or you can use it as a blush as well. And the other 4 are mostly for sculpting and like interesting liners, I would say. So the Taylor Gray is my perfect contour shade. I just love this stuff so much. Stone is a kind of darker and a bit warmer version of it. The Espresso, which I'm using as a brown liner. I do love brown eyeliner on myself. And then the Pinot Noir, because I could not skip it. I just have a very weird relationship with like vampy colors. I just love them so much. Everything that is gothic and vampy is just immediately attracting my attention. I cannot skip it. I need that thing in my life. So I'm obsessed, to say the least, and it's truly so. As you can see, I bought a lot of them already. That's 8 pieces. Crazy actually, and I'm glad that there was a discount on them, because otherwise it's just not affordable at all. Okay, let's continue with our makeup look for today. Next I will go with the shade Peloponnese. This is gonna be my kind of graphic liner in this scenario. I'm using just a small brush to actually apply it to the areas where I need the liner. This is very simple. This is nothing crazy. As you can see, I'm just placing it to the inner side, then by the crease, and creating a liner with it as well, because I want this to be kind of outlining the eye. I think I may later do something more graphic in this direction, but right now it's like a very much a hint of color. I will also bring it under the eye. Usually I've just started doing that, but I'm kind of enjoying how it looks on me. The underline of my lower lid. So I'm going under my lower lid and just lining it with eyeshadow. It's soft, it's blurred, it's something like ethereal as well, and I'm just liking it. You don't have to like that, but that's just what I'm doing here. Then I'm thinking I will go back to the Ithaca and actually blend a bit the edges of these. I think I also want to add a bit of white. The Pegasus is a completely white shade and I'm placing it into the center. That's not going to be seen at all, but for the sake of it, I'm just placing it there. Bright turquoise. I really enjoy this color. Like teals and turquoise are generally my favorite colors, and I have a lot of them in my tattoos as well, and that's just turned out to be a mix of green and blue, and I love all of that as well. So just a side note, I guess. And I'm thinking to add a bit of Hades, which is a purple-ish color, like a nightshade purple. Into this look, I'm gonna take a smaller fluffy brush that looks a bit more like a fan, like a circular fan, not the flat one. And I'm gonna dip it into the shade and just remove the excess of the color and just dip onto the very center of the pieces I've created, of my graphic liner, so to say, so that I can have it there that way. Kind of enjoying it there. I'm also placing it to the crease area and into the outer edge where the liner is. It's kind of becoming parts of my liner. I'm creating this stuff here, and I'm actually really into it for some reason. I don't know. And now we are ready to go to into our shimmers. This palette is supposed to have like 3 multichromes and 6 shimmers. Just 6 shimmers and 3 multichromes. And I am not sure, because I see some duochromes in the shades that are not supposed to be duochromes. Anyway, the Gaia, I'm not sure, is supposed to be my main lid shade. This is gonna be very pretty, and it's very thin, it's very smooth as well. I'm just gonna apply it all over the lid. Next shade is next shade is Calypso. I'm taking it with a silicone brush, and I'm gonna place it into the areas of purple in this look. Not everywhere, but like, you know, just to have it there. I do enjoy how it looks on purple. I love also how it looks as a highlighter, so I may use it eventually as a highlighter. I'm not sure right now, but just saying. And I am going to maybe I want something sparkly, so it's generally what I've started doing, and I'm enjoying it. And I need something more light, I would say. So Circe, Athena, or Helios are supposed to be my 3 shades on the fingers, and Helios is probably too yellow. I do love yellow gold with this teal shades. Maybe I will still do that, but for now I think I will focus on something more light. So Circe, I think it is. Athena is a bit too cold. I want to use it with something more gray in this direction. And yeah, so we're only left with the pale gold. And it looks nice. I'm genuinely enjoying the work here. I'm feeling a need of more sparkles. So these shimmers are very thin. They're more of a satiny feeling, and they are duochroming indeed. They are there, but sometimes I just want the right in your eye sparkle. I think I will do the liner for this look, something maybe in the same colors. I think I have an inglot in the turquoise color like this, and after that I will come back to you with both eyes finished. So this is my makeup, and this is what I created with the first look, as a first look, I would say. So far, so good. I do love teal colors. Teal and turquoise are my favorites. I also love gray colors, so this is something that I'm just leaning into, and it looks good so far. The mattes seem to be quite okay, nothing too crazy happening with them. Matte formula from Nomad is always quite a stable thing. For the shimmers, I'm not sure if I like it so far. This is something in between being iridescent and being satin. It's not so sparkly, like there are tiny sparkles in there, but they're not enough to be called a sparkle, let's say it like that. that. They are something slightly weird to me. So right now I'm not exactly happy. I really like the one that is blue, that is called Calypso. Transparent base, blue purple look. The one that we used as main one, a bit weird something. It's also like I'm not finding it anything special for now. It kind of fits, but maybe not so much. It looks good because this one and this one are kind of made for each other, if I may say so. So they are quite good in these terms, but nothing that stands out to me. Nothing that is actually like, oh, wow, this is something I wanna grab and go. So far, I cannot say anything crazy or anything bad or anything good about that. It's just okay. I used today also the Inglot number 87. Inglot 87 is very similar in shade to our matte teal. This one is a little bit more blue, and the one in the palette is a little bit more like balanced, kind of, because teal is a mix of blue and green, and we have something that is balanced in this palette, as you can see, and this one is a bit more blue in tone, but look, they are very close to each other. I would say that they are very close, but I see this one a bit more blue. However, it fits nicely. If you want to have like a gel liner in such a color, then this is one of the options. The other one will be to get a color case by Mitchell. There is also quite a nice teal color in there. Yeah, so for eyes, I think so far it's okay. It's nothing outstanding to me for now, and we have a couple more items in this collection, as I showed probably in the intro, but now I cannot say it because that time didn't happen yet. But these are the face products. These are also the Greek Odyssey, and this is 6.5 grams and 4 grams of product. One is the highlighter balm, and the other one is a color adapting blush balm. So it's a pH blush and it's a balm. It looks like it has different colors, but it's actually all clear, and it's just not swirled, but it's separated in such a way, and there is an illusion of pink being raised, because this one is semi-translucent and the other one is clear, and that's why you just see illusion of pink being raised, but it's not actually raised. It's all universal in yeah. There is a connection line that you can feel, but nothing that stands out. So they are not different. It's all the same color. It's all the same pH activated blush, which I do not really like. First of all, it's a balm. It's not setting itself. It's very hard to apply normally. You best apply this with your fingers or with some specific brush. I just don't like balms in general in such format, and I'm not liking the pH activated anything. It's always this shade of pink, which I'm not really enjoying. This one is okay, right? Like, this doesn't look too bad, but it also doesn't hold well. You cannot really pack it, you cannot really make it more sheer. Like, there is not much that you can do with this product. And the balm for the hot weather, the balm that makes your face sticky, is one of the worst case scenarios. Worst case scenario, as they say. This balm is a bit better. It's a bit more dry in formula, but I do not enjoy how it applies. You also have to apply it probably with the finger, and when you swirl and swipe and everything, just look at how it grabs onto fingers. Yeah, it blends, so you can blend it, so it looks okay. I also use it on my lips today, on top of the pencil, but it's just not very good format for this product. I would love this pigment in the transparent highlighter that is powder. Even the cream one would have been okay. But balms, the main thing for the balm is to be dewy, right? The balm, you do not apply anything on top of the balm. If you apply anything on top of the balm, it's gonna be a mess. Right now, it's raising my foundation slowly. It's eating through that. So I try to apply it accurately, but it's eating through my foundation, and this is just not it. This is something that has to be applied to the absolutely clean skin. It doesn't have to be like, it's a clean girl kind of stuff, but no, for me it's a no, unfortunately. I wanted to like this. I think it looks good, but it's a no. Too many no's in here, and it's not something that has to be here. So Speaking about my foundation, as far as we are done with the eyes more or less and these two products, which I said also I applied onto my lips, what I have is I decided to try and buy the One Size Beauty by Patrick Starr, if you didn't know him. This is Turn Up the Base Full Bit Liquid Foundation. This is a very good match in these terms. This is 10 Fair NR, so neutral rosy, and it's a very good foundation in these terms. Like, it's uniform, it's applied nicely, it's staying on me okay, except the places where the balm actually touched it. There it starts to disintegrate into a mess. But the shade itself, I would say this is a bit more neutral and white than I am, but like, you cannot match the translucency of your skin if you're using the full beat foundation, right? So this is not how it works. So if I apply this all over myself, it probably will be a good match for the body as well, and I'm just generally enjoying. Unfortunately, I think this one is getting away, like it's being sold out and not restocked anymore, so I don't think it makes sense to continue speaking about it if I will be using it. Maybe I will use it as a mixer with some other foundations, so it's not gonna be a standalone product that I will like do the wear tests and stuff on it. So, but it looks good and it was on discount. Yep, that's how I work. Then I have Sephora Contour Stick, still the last one, the one that I'm trying to finish because like stuff left. I cannot throw out the stuff when something is still in there. This is just. Then I have Miss Thais 780, made in Czech Republic, produced by Nomad Cosmetics CR. So this lippy pencil is rosy beige. Everything in me is pretty much rosy beige. And this one is like My Lips But Better kind of stuff, and I really enjoy this color as well. I just need to sharpen it a little bit because I've used it so much. Very nice pencil, very pretty. Kind of slightly lighter and slightly more beige than My Lips, but at this point I do not care that much. With each year I would say my lips are losing the natural color, and then it doesn't matter what you apply on top. You just have to fill up everything anyway. So that's how it works. And I applied both blush and highlighter onto my lips on top of that, and after that I also applied the Too Faced lip injection, which I'm also finishing up because I removed the stopper here, and yeah. I'm just finishing things up, as you can see. The things especially that I like. So that's so far it. That's so far everything that I wanted to show you and to tell you today. I still have some things to process in my brain with this whole situation. But we will have 2 more looks together, and I will see you in the next look tomorrow. For the first time in a while, I'm filming in the day, like evening of course already, but still during the day kind of. And my cats are running around and meowing all the time because they want to go to the garden and lay in the dirt. But I don't want them to lay in the dirt because they don't like to be washed afterwards. And yeah, so they are just running around and doing menacing things. But I cannot let them out because I'm having some stuff to do, and nobody will watch them, and I don't like them to be on self-walking things. So anyway, today we are doing something great. I want something. I kind of love the halo eyes lately, so I'm gonna do something in that direction anyway. So excuse me for that. It's just what's coming right now in my mind, and I cannot control that too much. I'm trying to, but it's not always gonna work. So let's begin. I will go into the shade Nostas just to see how dark it is, and I'm starting with the inner corner, and it's not really dark. This one can actually be applied right away into the areas where you need the blending later, but we then switch to the shade Olympus. Olympus is the darkest in this trio, and I'm gonna apply it in the areas where I need my halo eye to be, which is the inner corner, just dragging it into the crease slightly, but not overly arched, so I have to keep it a bit more controlled in this case. And then on the outer V, I'm actually kind of writing a V, laying sideways, as you can see, and I'm just dragging it to the bottom lid as well, so that I can have it there. And I'm blending this with the shade Nostos, just like it's supposed to be, and it's very nicely blended together. I have a lot of kickback in my pans because of the brush. This brush is the Natural Bristles goat hair, and it's very, how to say, it's quite stiff, I would say, and it's just poking into the powders and make it fly all over. So sometimes your kickback in the pan is because of the brush, not because the eyeshadow are bad or anything. So let's continue blending things around with the gray and also bringing it to the bottom lid. This is a not dual halo eye, so you can mix the shapes and shades all over, and this is what I am doing. And then the white shade Pegasus will be the center of the top lid and the very beginning of the bottom lid, so that I can have the lightest shade in there. I'm also blending it together with the Nostos just to have it a bit more smooth and like just there. And I think I'm gonna add a bit of other color. As far as yesterday we used a bit of mint, let's try to use a bit of blue today. Next makeup look will be blue anyway, but Odyssey is the blue shade, and I'm going to apply to the bottom lid in the corner, dragging it outwards, and also under the brow on the top lid. And I'm gonna mix it with the Pegasus a bit, just so it's not that pigmented in blue, so that it can be just slightly whitened up. But this shade is very strong, so it's not really getting blended too much with the white. You have to be careful about that, but I think it kind of looks good anyway. And I am just gonna add a bit of Olympus back, just so I can have the more blendability there. And I think we're ready to go into our shimmers. This time I think I will use only two. I am a bit confused on some of these shades, but I think the Poseidon will be good for the bottom lid, just because it's slightly blue and like matching there. I can drag something in the bottom lid in there, and I see some shift, but it's not like super obvious, so I would say it's more like a base plus shimmer difference, but it doesn't look bad in there. So, and on the top lid with the finger I'm going to apply the shade Athena, and this is just a silver. I really love silver colors, and I think it matches here very nicely. Like, it's not something special this time. We are not doing something crazy. I may add actually the Calypso on top of that, just to have like some interest, and the third shade as well. But we also already used Calypso, and yeah, but anyway, I'm just adding Calypso as the last resort. And I think I only will be left with the wing. I actually wanted to say about the wing earlier even, but I will do the black wing here, and I am gonna come back to you with the finished result. So this is the makeup I came up with, and I have to say that this one I love more than the previous one. Just like in the terms of colors, in terms of placements, probably it's just a bit more me, and I enjoy this one a lot more. I love gray shades. As you can see, I'm also wearing some grayish blue, and this one also becomes more like grayish blue, and I think it's just so nice looking, and I'm just generally into it so much, so I may wear it for a bit. The matte shades are totally okay. The blue is hella pigmented. It was always like the shades themselves are very pigmented if you apply with a flat brush, so you're packing the color, and this is what you're getting. I tried to whiten it up a bit with the white, unsurprisingly, but it's not even that budging in terms of the pigment, so you may want to mix it right on the brush, and that should work fine. So I think the Poseidon is not anything special. Please forgive me, Poseidon, but you are nothing special for now. It kind of goes into something purple-ish, but actually like not too much, and it's more of a like icy cold something. The shade Athena is just a simple sparkle. It's not even sparkle. I don't know how to... It's a shimmer, so it is shimmer. It's shimmering, but it's not sparkling, and it's not satin completely. Like, you still have this shimmering properties. It's very smooth and thin, and I'm like, it's nothing special, it's just a simple one. And the shade Calypso I actually like a lot, and I also added it here on top of the gray purple. That gives a bit of a blue effect. So it gets gray into more of a blue or lilac areas, but the gray itself seems to be pretty neutral in these terms. Like it doesn't actually go to gray or to blue or anything else or purple. So it's nice gray shade, and look at the pigmentation. It's just tapping it on. I did not even swipe, I just tapped it on. So it's wonderful so far. I think I'm enjoying it a lot, and I don't have anything to say about the makeup look itself. So I love it. Now, what else do I have on my face? Light reflecting NARS in Oslo together with House Labs. Today, as my contour, I used MAC Taylor Gray. As you can see, it creates a nice shadow. It's not visible that much, but it's there, and I like how present it is without overdoing. So it's not going into brown, it's not going into something too warm. So Taylor Gray is perfect shade for me. I just love it so much. As my blush today, I also used MAC Multi Sculpt in shade Buffed Up. Buffed Up is supposed to be more on the blush zone, but actually I think it's more over bronzer. So it's a blush and bronzer in one, so it gives a bit of a warmth with a hint of color, but not something that I will call blush by itself probably. So it's still nice, and I love this formula. It's so thin, it's so skin-like. It's just like you get some pigment, it goes on top of your skin, and it doesn't accentuate anything. It doesn't do anything except this hint of color, and it blends very nicely. It's very durable. It has a good staying power. So I'm loving this stuff from MAC. I have no idea why they did not create it earlier, but if they create a foundation in this formula, it's gonna be bomb, absolutely bomb. As my highlighter today, I used the shade Calypso from the palette. I decided not to go further into these two. Maybe I will still try them in the end, but for now I'm just not eager to touch them more than I should. You know, this is just the format of this as a balm. I'm just not really into it, and yeah, I'm so sorry about that. It's just I'm not into it at all. It's not my favorite thing, and it's not something that I would use. It's not something that I like to touch. It's just not it. On my lips today, I have Miss Thais 780. Just all over the lips, and on top of that I used a bit of Digital Nude by Cheer Up, I think it is. Cheer Up. So just a bit of a sheen, like a satiny sheen, and not anything like super glossy or not anything super matte, so I like it. And in my waterline today I also have Sea Sparkle by Kaleidos. I think it matches the Poseidon really nicely. It also has a somewhat similar base and a bit more gray than blue, but it matches still nicely. And I would say this is everything I have for today, and for now I may do the second look today, but I'm not sure because I have some stuff to do with the living flowers, and I'm afraid that my flowers will just die if I want to do the staying in the nearest time. So, looking a bit crazy, but it's okay. That's what we are having today. I'm really enjoying everything so far. I'm loving it. So next probably gonna be quite blue, and I think I will do just a regular cut crease, like a half cut crease as we usually do, to take a look on the Sirens, because it's very interesting multi-chroming shade. So that will be the idea, and I think that is it for now. Should go. So see you in the next one. So I decided not to waste much time and just go with another look. I want to mix blue with teal and with gray, so it's gonna be everything from this palette, so we can see how it all works together and what is the main theme turned out to be. And maybe next one I will do just plain gray. I'm not sure right now, but let's see how the things will go. So I will start directly with the shade Elysium. Elysium is a very nice blue shade. It's quite pigmented, but not exactly the most dark, so we're gonna work through slowly. I'm leaving it in the outer edge of the eye, and just kind of doing the little angle up to the center of the eye and little angle in there. Then I will go into the shade Mati, and this will be my V the darkening, and I am also just slowly dragging it outwards so that I can have it there. From that shade we go to the shade Hades, and this will be the bottom darkest part, let's say it like that. And I'm also putting it slightly next to Mati because this one is darker than the other one, so you can have it in such a way here. And from there we will go probably to the shade Peloponnese into the next to Elysium in the center of the eye. I'm just gonna place it there so we can later go into the mint and white. So Peloponnese, and I want to place Odyssey, just map it kind of under the brow from the outer side so that I can have it there, but it's not actually like super pigmented right now. I'm just gonna blend it later, so that's the idea at least. And next, the shade Ithaca is going to be the mint in the front. And these two shades, the Peloponnese and Ithaca, are not really mixing with each other that well. So maybe it's the fault of the brushes, actually. I'm not quite sure here, but I think the brushes are actually not the best for this application and for the blending together. So I'm just going to try to blend one into the other as much as I can. But don't expect it to be like a super blended one into the other shades. And also, as usual, I have a problem with such pastel-y shades because they don't give enough pigmentation. I want to place them on top of the base, the colored base specifically. But in scope of the review, this is not something I usually do. Sometimes I do that, but very rarely when I'm doing some other type of makeup looks. So yeah. And then we'll go into the Pegasus, which is white in the corner. It's just gonna stay in the corner there. I will go then blend here and there slightly with shade Ithaca and Odyssey. I'm actually taking a completely new brush and I'm blending with it instead of dipping into something else and bringing more pigment in there. Instead, I'm just trying to blend whatever I have already. And then the bottom, we go into the shade Olympus from the outer side, and I'm slowly bringing it by the lash line as well. It will help a lot in this scenario. Then the shade Nostos is the one that I'm gonna blend everything towards the bottom, so you can have like a darkest gray and white almost touching each other, and then the gray, middle gray Nostos in between, so that I can have like a nice blending. And this gray is also feeling really good in this place. I'm pretty happy with the mattes so far, except the very inner corner, well, where I tried to blend Ithaca to Peloponnese. Unfortunately, it's not that good blending, but with the white it actually works well. So, and at this point I think we're ready to go into our shimmers. The main shimmer I will use today will be the Sirens. We actually are left with around 4 shades, so I'm trying to use like 3 in this look, and I think 1 will be left out for the next session. But I may actually try to include it later into this look as well, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure how, so please excuse me for that. So Sirens is duochroming to me. I don't see the third color, unfortunately. Right now, maybe it actually goes into something very yellowish on the very high angle, but honestly, I'm just not seeing it that much. I'm placing it into the center and to the outer edge. I'm leaving it in the area where my darkest colors are as a border, so that's the frame. That's what I call the frame of mattes. And this is how you can kind of see where the things can end and where it should end or where it shouldn't. And next I'm gonna go probably into the shade Elion. This is a greenish shade, like a green gold, and I'm placing it to the first part of the lid. It's gonna be my kind of the turquoise part of this eye. It's giving me a sea and lake and ocean at the same time, like the whole this blend of blue to green is giving me this feeling. And I'm trying to mix the... Actually, let's try it with the flat brush, because that is also important for some people to know if it's actually applied with a brush. And I'm using the synthetic brush, and here it's just a flat synthetic brush, and actually it applies quite normal with it. With the opposite side of that same brush, I'm gonna dive back into the Sirens to bring it together, to just kind of melt it there both. And And as the very accent between them, I want to use the shade Helios, which is the god of sun, I think. And this will be the top lid. I'm just blending it outwards a bit. Then onto the bottom lid, I think I will go quite safely into the Athena. I don't think I want to use pink here. Not very much fun of it right now. And Athena feels fitting to the grays as in the previous look. And I think the very inner corner we will go into the shade Calypso, which is my favorite in this palette, and that is what we are dealing with. I am enjoying it so far. The biggest challenge will be to repeat this on the other eye, and I will also bring the wing liner here. I'm not sure if it will be like a very easy wing or if I need to do something different, but I'm gonna outline the eye pretty much completely with the black, and I will come back to you with the finished face. So this is the last look in this review, and I'm super into it, to be honest, because it's so bright, so colorful, so many things are happening here, but at the same time it's very cohesive. It still looks kind of whole. It's not anything like going out of this zones, and I am enjoying when the things are matching together, when they are able to like kind of all be as one, and just really loving this. And the blue ones, if in the train one for, I think it was Christmas palette 2 years ago, if in the train we have the iceberg colors, this one is a tropical deep sea. So we don't have the same vibe, we don't have the same shade, even if from the beginning it looks similar, but it's absolutely different in the hues and things. So there are so many colors, I think 16 million colors that you can find, so I really doubt that there will be dupes in the shades. Like at least something will change a little bit, so it's not completely a dupe in mattes at all. So we have our deep sea that goes into the lake kind of with a bit of a swampy colors, and this is like a greenery on top of the pond, something like that, and it's a gold that is green as well. So we have a green Elion, and Helios on top gives also a green shade. So I'm really into it. I love the gray the most probably here. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I think I love the gray the most. And I also used both of these with a brush. They are applied better. They do not disrupt my foundation because they applied with a brush with a stippling motion rather than swiping motion, and it's a bit better, but the brush makes them slightly more dirty. Like the pan itself becomes a bit more muddy, and I'm just not a fan of that. I'm not sure how to deal with this thing, but I tried it again with a brush just to understand if that's the thing. And this one, if you swirl it, it becomes also dirty slightly, so it's not very good in these terms. I don't know how to approach this properly. I'm not sure if I can set it up with powder or anything, but these balmy textures usually just stay as they are, and I'm not a fan. That's just what it is. But it looks good. I cannot say that it looks bad. It doesn't really smudge too much, but you can definitely get a feeling that it's gonna be transferring onto surfaces and things. So for example, I have my phone here, which I'm trying to clean up slightly, and if I apply, this all stays on the phone. So you cannot make it non-transferable if it's staying as a balm. You have to use the powder or setting spray, something like that. But then what's the point of using the balm anyway? So I'm not sure. I don't have like a complete solution for this one. I just have a bias and I don't like it. That's all. But yeah, that's what we're dealing with. Very happy with the eyes. I also used the number 78 Inglot, which is gray liner. I love this gray liner. It's such a beautiful gray, and I'm just really into such things, and I like the gray, for example, if I'm tired of black, or if this one kind of asks for gray because we have a gray underlining, and I think it looks good together. So far that's it. That's all I have for the eyes. And for what else do I have on my face? I have the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in 20B. 20B is quite dark in application, but it lightens up when you blend it. So don't be afraid of that. 20B is like a light area. The fair area will be 12B or 8B. So B is beige. Beige is the neutral rosy, which I am. And if you are also neutral rosy, you can take a B option. And 8B is very light, 12B is also very light, like almost white, but with a tint, so just have to be aware of that. I'm mixing it with House Labs, so that 12B probably will be good enough for me, but I couldn't find it at the point of buying this stuff, so 20B it is. Then I have Taylor Grey by MAC as my contour. Very natural, very good looking. I'm pretty happy with everything in that direction. Blush and stuff I said. On my lips today I have the Perfilador Long Lasting Lapis, well, Long Lasting Lips Deli Plus from Mercadona. This is from Spain. My friend Anastasia, Benson MUA, she sent me a couple of these pencils. They became viral in Spain after Patrick Tai used them on his masterclass, and they fly out of the shelves like crazy. I can understand why. It's nice rosy beige, rosy brown color. Like it's nice gel texture as well. These are pretty affordable as pencils, and I love how it looks actually. It stays, which is also nice. I mixed it up with a bit of buffed up, but this one is a bit more beige than rosy. The other one is more rosy than beige. So that's about it. I think that's all I can have for today. That's all I have for now, and I'm left with only one shade actually untouched, which is pink. Pink with purple and with gray I think will look good, so I will try that tomorrow. And on this note, pretty happy with today. 2 looks per day, it's amazeballs. So we will see each other in final thoughts, so don't go too far. This is the makeup I ended up with, and I'm super happy about that because I love this lilac haze. It's gray and purple mixed together. They look wonderful. They blend wonderful. Also, I tried more rounded blending in this scenario, so I did like a crease that goes into more rounded shape rather than going into the elongated, and I feel like it's a lot more anime eyes for me in this case. It just opens my eyes a bit more and kind of looks good. The center of the lid is white, so it's purely white and just a little sparkle on it. This is Calypso, as I love this shade the most probably in this palette, one of the multichromes. And I also used pink so that we could say we touched every shade, which is great. 18 shades and 4 makeup looks are quite good in my opinion, and I do like the variety of things that you can create, but the grays here probably are my favorite. I do like teals and blues. I cannot say that I do not like them at all. I do like them, but I feel like grays just hit something right now for me, and I'm enjoying them the most. So yeah, that's the look, that's the everything. I also used the blush and the highlighter in this look, and I have some things to say about everything here. So the first things that you get sometimes, one of the first purchases that are done in this collection usually come with every collection probably from Nomad, at least for the past year and something. They come with a card. So this is a photo taken on location, the inspiration of the whole thing, and it also tells you about the collection, about what inspiration and everything in the footsteps of Odysseus. So we are joining Greek islands and we are going to the every isle and footsteps of Odysseus. Romance, charm, jewels, etc, etc. So we have our palette, 18 shades, 6 shimmers and 3 of them, 3 multichromes, 6 shimmers, 9 mattes. That's what we have. The color adapting blush balm, illuminating highlighter balm, and limited edition scarf. Unfortunately, I don't have a scarf. This is probably for somebody who would buy the full collection, but it does not get to me in PR, so I would have to buy it separately or just deal with it, you know. So they are supporting IC and restore the Mediterranean Sea. This is a preservation and restoration of the Mediterranean Sea. It's called IC. I see what you did here. So let's talk about the palette and then go by the blush and etc, etc. So the palette itself, I do love the whole thing. These are the Odysseus stuff that he went through, his adventures. I used to love the Greek gods stories and everything that's related to Greek gods kind of, and Greek ancient stuff. I really love this kind of things, and I think the palette says the Greek Odysseus. If you can read, please tell me if that's the case. I'm just too tired to actually research about that. But anyway, we have the Greek Isles, we have the Odyssey as an inspiration. So you have the whole thing about him, basically. We have 3 multichromes, 6 shimmers, 9 mattes. Everything about the palette here, and it's except the weight, I think. So it's cruelty-free and vegan, proud supporter of IC, no parabens, phthalates or mineral oil. And here on the back of the palette we usually have a bit more information. For example, that it's 18 shades, 1.5 grams each, manufactured at Nomad Labs in China, distributed by Nomad Cosmetics, San Antonio, Texas, in USA. Greek Isles Storied Waters. So the palette repeats fully what we have on the cover, and we have the palette itself. So this is a very, I'm not sure if Greeks are in tropical line, probably not, but it's still a warm sea, and this is like a warm, deep sea kind of scenario with a bit of turquoise waters, a bit of the blue waters with some depth. So we have quite a good palette in terms of the mattes, because you can have lightening shades, you can have darkening shades, you can mix them together. As I said, if you mix them together, you get wonderful shades in the middle somewhere. So gray mixed with any of these shades will produce quite an interesting result. The only thing I had problems with is this mint. It's a bit less pigmented that I like, but that's typical for pastels and things like that. But we have quite pigmented matte and quite pigmented blue. Blue is not pastel, so we have a nice selection of colors, and I like the gray area here the most, as I said also. Then we have our shimmers. I think we have this as a multichrome, goes to yellow. Then we have this as a multichrome, but I would call it a duochrome more than a multichrome. So it goes to purple. And the only other one that I think about is this one, actually. It also goes somewhere into purple blue, but we have the brighter color here, and then we have this. They are quite similar to each other, but they are still different. I'm not sure why they've been chosen and placed like that together. If you mix them with something, like if you mix blue with pink, you will get some purple, but you also have purple through the multichrome itself. This one is a green gold that goes into green, but I'm not sure if there are shades like that go into complete rainbow of multichromes. I did not find any, and this is like a lack of pigment, of multichrome pigment for me. So I would say they're more like duochromes in this scenario, and they are more of shimmers. They are not sparkles. They are very smooth. They are not very like little sparkles kind of thing, but they're not satin. So the texture is more of a true shimmer, so to say, and it's very thin one. So you will get a lot of good to wear kind of shades without any oiliness or anything. So I would say that they should not crease or do weird stuff on your lids. This shade I love the most. I do like silver. I do like a pale gold. I'm not the biggest fan of this gold or of this pink. Personal preference, nothing wrong with the shades themselves, but that's just how I work, I guess. And overall, this palette is nice, but you only should take it if you really love the color story. I would assume this will be the same price as regular 18 pan palettes, considering that it's also 3 shades called multichromes. So I would say it's a bit more expensive than you want it to be. Of course, there are codes, there may be sale, there might be something else. Like, you can get it cheaper if you really want it, but I would say that if you can skip paying a full price, that would be the right choice. Because this is good, but nothing special. Like, you cannot get the oomph out of this palette. This is quite calm. This is nothing that goes out of your mind. Like, it's not crazy shimmers, it's not crazy anything. It's good mattes. The formula is good. The formula of shimmers is also good, but it's not spectacular. That was the word I was trying to find. So yeah, I enjoyed working with it. I love the grays, I love the blues and teals. These are one of my favorite colors in general. So I do enjoy working with the palette, but I think that if the price will be the same as with 18 pan shades that Nomad usually have, this is not the price I would buy it on. So discounted, then I'm fine. But yeah, it's still good. The quality is, as always from Nomad, is quite good. So if you love it, you can go for it. If you don't, then you can easily skip it. Then we have two products for the face. They also come in their own packaging, which matches everything. We have the Odyssey Greek Isles. We have the blush balm, which is 4 grams total, and we have the highlighter balm, which is 6.5 grams total. They look pretty much the same, but this one is 2.5 grams more for some reason. This one is also a bit more dry, like as a balm, this one is a bit more dry. So you notice that it's a pigment in gel or something like that, and the pigment itself is very pretty. So I like the highlighter itself and how it shifts. So it's also duochroming a bit from yellow to pink. You can probably see it on me as well. But the balm format for me is a no-go. You get stickiness which does not disappear. I still feel a bit of stickiness on my face. For some people it's really critical, so I can understand that. The balm formula is very, very specific. If you love balm formulas, that's a different story. I don't. So for me, this is more of a no as a product in general than yes. The same story goes for the pH balm. I think the pH changing balm is kind of a bit of a trickster thing. I think they only turn into a bright fuchsia or into something pink, and this color does not change with your skin. It's just that on different skin, this color can look different, and that's a bit of a different story, let's say. I'm repeating the word different a bit too much, but anyway. We have the 3 rows, so to say, and they actually don't have any color, so they are all the same shade. It's a pretty pink. Like, I like it on myself. I do enjoy how it looks in general, but that once again, this is a balm and it's pH. I'm not a fan of both of these things. I'm trying to avoid a pH active things, and I'm trying to avoid balmy things. I love creams and I love powders, but I don't like liquids and I don't like balms. Liquids are a bit not so nice to work with, and balms are both sticky and not so nice to work with. At least some liquid stuff can set itself, but balm usually don't. So you will get continuous stickiness on your face. This is not highly sticky, so I cannot say that it's completely unpleasant to work with or wear, but I don't like this format. I don't. No, for me it's a no. It might have been a fun thing, but unfortunately this whole thing is not my thing. So out of this whole collection, the palette is the safest choice, and if you love the colors, you probably won't be disappointed. Nomad is really good in these terms, and I do enjoy working with them each time, and I do enjoy just generally produce content, you know, and do some nice looks, which, by the way, we should look at. Oh, let's have a look on all of the makeups I created for this collection and for this review. There are only 4, and that's typical for me because I am not able to produce more usually in a given time, and also the editing for me unfortunately takes a lot of time. This is not a complaint, this is just a fact. I don't need anything to be told about that. It's my choice after all, it's my hobby. That's what I want to do, that's what I want to produce. I want you to see these videos as well. I want to get the community who will be like-minded people and who enjoy makeup as much as I do, because that's just a form of art for me, and I'm really into it and just cannot let it go, I guess. And producing videos as well just comes together. So yeah, that was everything that I wanted to say about the whole collection, about the whole release, about everything that I've created with it. I'm fully happy with all I did, even though some looks I like more than the others. If you like some look more than the other, please let me know in the comments as well. Be happy to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That's what YouTube wants you to do. After all, you stayed so long for something, right? Thank you once again for the full view on this long ass videos that I produce, and we will see each other very, very soon in the next video. Bye!